What they saw in the light gave rise to temptation. Temptation that ever lures us back into the crystal shadow. And thus did our journey begin.
Let's talk about Final Fantasy XVI's main playable character, Guts. I mean, Clive Rosfield. Sorry, I have a hard time telling these two apart sometimes, because they both have unruly hair, a permanent scowl on their faces, a flowy black cape, and they're both carrying big swords and the weight of the world on their shoulders. So, is Clive just another broody sword-slinging hero in a game franchise that's already filled with broody sword-slinging heroes? I'm here to argue that Clive is not your usual Final Fantasy protagonist. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. In the flashback section of Final Fantasy XVI, we play as Clive when he is aged 15.
Though he is a youth of but 15 years, he's already a fine soldier.
But for a majority of the game, we actually play as Clive when he is already 33.
What have we learned?
Which makes him somewhat older than the entire Dissidia NT cast, on average. Also, unlike that young, clean-cut bunch, Clive openly drinks, swears,
Fuck.
and I'm almost surprised that he didn't take up smoking. Everyone else and their grandma seems to be lighting up in this game. Like Prince Noctis of Final Fantasy XV, Clive is born into a noble family. The Rosfields have ruled the Grand Duchy of Rosaria for generations. Noctis gets the family car and his own boy band, so what does Clive get as a family perk? Good question. Traditionally, the Phoenix bestows its iconic power onto a member of the Rosfield family. Clive did not inherit this power.
He was rejected, Elwyn. Our household has no place for such a failure. He is worthless, a man like any other.
Instead, that power was inherited by his younger brother, Joshua.
I'm sure he'd find a way. My brother always looks after me. Right?
Their mother makes it obvious that Joshua is her favorite, all but ignoring Clive's existence. Now, anyone who comes from a family can tell you that this is a recipe for sibling rivalry, but with a maturity beyond their youth, Clive trains to be a shield of Rosaria so he can physically protect his frail little brother, and in turn, Joshua shares what magic power he can with Clive.
Joshua.
Due to a tragic event in-game, Clive loses Joshua, and seeking closure for that tragedy is his main motivation in the story.
But until my brother is avenged, I must walk my own path.
However, when he finds out the truth, that it was him who was the dominant of the second icon of fire and who caused the Phoenix Gate tragedy, he sinks into despair, questioning his very existence. After all, how do you get revenge on the bad guy if the bad guy is you?
What are you going to do now?
But thanks to the other game characters, Clive finds a new goal in life. He becomes an outlaw who sets in motion various events which would bring about freedom and equality across Valisthea.
To a world without mother crystals.
This ambition comes at great cost. By destroying the mother crystals, he does liberate people from relying on magic to survive, but this effectively destroys people's livelihoods, as they rely on crystals for everything from filling wells to lighting lamps in the dark. Usually, the actions of a Final Fantasy protagonist bring about an immediate good, like saving the planet from a meteor, restoring the timeline, or bringing about an eternal calm. Clive is different in that his actions do not result in an absolute good, at least not immediately.
Oh, it's to give them a better tomorrow. They see only that we've made their lives harder today. Yet the boil must be lanced if it is to heal.
Clive is aware that change takes time, and that not everyone will understand why he does what he does. As the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. He knew he would be feared or hated for his actions, and that he might not live to see the new world that he fought for.
Just leave us be. This is our home, and this is where we'll stay.
In a way, this reminds me of Frank Herbert's June, where its many peoples and factions know that they are playing the long game, and that they might not live to see their plans bear fruit. But they do it anyway. And doing that takes true courage and having people around you who support your cause, knowing that they will carry on when you can no longer do so. That courage to bring the struggle to its bitter end, knowing that not everyone will thank Clive for his deeds, makes him a truly unique Final Fantasy hero.
Though every soul in the realm may judge my actions heresy, I am certain my cause is just.
Even if I think he could use a good haircut.